Hello everybody, welcome on over here. Let me answer a interesting question here, which is everyone is asking, hey, approximately how much is it going to be for a cost per lead, right? If we do Google Ads or do SEO, stuff like that, approximately how much is the cost per lead? And of course, it's gonna be tricky, right? It really would come down to a few things. The more established the channel is, I'll just general thumb. The more established a channel, the more competition using that strategy. Of course, the more expensive it is for cost per lead, right? So, for example, Google Ads now versus 5 years ago it's gonna be more expensive, right? So Facebook ads, same thing, used to be very, very cheap. It's not no longer cheap, right? So let me answer this. So obviously, first of all, it's going to be based on a channel, right? So if we're used to thinking about cost per lead, we typically think that while you're running ads, for example, Google Ads, in the meantime, start working on trying to get ranked locally in the Google business listing. And also long term, try to get ranked organically because those are a little bit more organically. They don't cost you anytime somebody click on it. It's not an ad, right? So if you look at overall strategy here is if you're doing Google ads, right, and you're trying to get ranked locally organically, once those two other sections start spooning up, then of course the overall cost per lead is going to go down, right? And also, looking at the cost per lead, it's also going to be focusing a lot on your overall reputation and overall branding, right? For somebody that's a little bit less well known, if somebody goes and try to Google you, you don't have much reviews, not much presence out there, of course, less people are going to trust you, right? Then when they click on ad of yours or even they go on your website, they're not gonna call you, right? Also, that also heavily weighs on how good is your website, right? The more uh, information on your website, who you are, what you do, how are you different, right? The more likely they're going to call you, and that would lower the cost per lead, right? Plus, for those industries, for example, um, right, trades, home care, for example, it's not everyone who is Googling you, they're going to need your services right away. So that's why if you fire off those type of remarketing ads to continuously to try to nurture them virtually, the more right likely you're in front of them, the more likely first time they click on an ad, right, they're just going to go on your website and do research. Second time they come back, they're more serious and going to call you. So you can see, oh, there's so many, right, factors that go into cost per lead. If you're used to using that metric, again, I love to track. I love to track, right? We track everything coming from website, right? Calls, guides, form fields, chatbot, everything. But again, before that, there's so many factors that go into that. So whoever can tell you, hey, the cost per lead is going to be this, I call that baloney. Really. Any legit agency, if they can go in before they start running campaigns and let you know, hey, this is going to be a cost per lead, there's no way they can do that though. I seriously doubt it, right? So there's so many variations that go into this. And how do you lower the cost per lead? It's going to be simple, right? So of course, the more reviews you have, the more people trust you, so the more likely they're going to call you, right? And better the website, right? More content, the more credibility signals, videos, faces, means trust, all those things I've been talking a lot more about, the more likely they're going to call you, right? And this overall trustworthiness, online, offline, a lot of people heard about your brand, of course, right? Once they see your ad, they're going to call you, right? So just many factors that go into this. And I always say this, if you're so honed in on that cost per lead, which I do agree you got to be tracking, if you're very honed in on that one single metric, it's going to be outrageously hard to really know where that lead is coming from. So because of that journey these days, right? When they started doing the research, they might be on their tiny little phone. They may just start Googling around, right? Then once they become a little more serious, they're gonna go on desktop, go on your website. Then subsequently, they might go on Yelp, right? They might go on social media. So it's very, very hard to track the final how they got to you. So again, right, in the good old days, if you only do one advertising, one marketing, it's so easy to track where the leads are coming from, right? When you're small, as you started getting, um, right, more and more clients, more and more doing more and more marketing, it's going to be harder and harder to track, though. Again, I'm all for tracking. I love to track. I'm an engineer. I track like crazy, but I know, right, that one-to-one, right, attribution does not exist anymore. Okay, but definitely keep tracking. But I always laugh about, hey, if people can guarantee you a cost per lead, just go with those right aggregators that sell leads to you then, right? Whether it's your NGs, your home buy advisors, nothing wrong with that because you're just buying a lead, right? Again, those leads, they're not just not as hot, not as warm. But overall cost per lead, right? Really is as you start running these ads, you start continuing to dial things in, it should slowly, right, it should come down, hit a plateau. That means it's very optimized, but guarantee year to year it's going to start creeping up just because more and more folks are doing the same type of advertisement, right? So really is that's why at the end, referral marketing is the best, offline marketing, right? But again, yeah, I would definitely say don't get super hung up on that cost per lead metric, right? Overall, right? The whole as a business owner, what I'm looking for is multiple sources of leads, right? And as long as right, this channel is making money, right? Even it's breaking even, I would continue to do it because that channel would actually help you with other channels as well. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Bye bye.